Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So in this one I wanted to talk about a video that Thunder made not too long ago. It was a few days ago or whatnot. Basically, long story short, he had a poll on his Twitter asking his fans of who his favorite Call of Duty developers are between Sledgehammer Games, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch. And according to the results of his poll, Treyarch beat the living shit out of Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer Games in the poll, which we kind of saw coming. I think that's pretty predictable, but in terms of like the amount was something that kind of got my attention. And as I thought about it more and more and more, I thought to myself, you know what? I don't think it's as easily cut and dry as we think. Now, granted, it's very normal for people to kind of jump the gun and just answer their question, but if you really take a simple question as like, which is your favorite Call of Duty developer, there's a little bit more to it than that. Now, obviously gameplay is the biggest factor, but at the same time, if you exclude Modern Warfare 2019 from a gameplay perspective, every single Call of Duty developer of the three, they get the gameplay down pretty well in terms of like how the game feels and how you move and how it's supposed to be a Twitch fast-paced arcade first-person shooter. The basic of the basic Call of Duty formula. They all have their different feels, and as a Call of Duty fan, personally speaking for myself, I could tell you that even though I prefer one developer over another for my specific reasons and why I think one is better over another, or whatever I think makes a developer better than another, despite that fact, I still will binge a different Call of Duty game for whatever reason for a specific period of time. Because every single Call of Duty game has something unique to offer to the table that the other one doesn't quite do as well. That kind of makes you go back and play that game because you just have the feels for it. And I think all the Call of Duty fans, whether you're a Call of Duty enthusiast or whether you're a filthy casual or whatnot, I think there are a multitude of people that go back and play the older Call of Duties. And shit, especially back in the day, when we were on a 2-year development cycle and when it was just Treyarch and Infinity Ward, though the games would last far beyond the 6-month period that they seem to last now, which is kind of a fascinating subject, and simultaneously it's kind of like a sad subject if you think about it. Because right now, Call of Duty only lasts for 6 months, and back in the day, they used to last a lot longer, even though they had less time to develop the game. But with that being said, it could be the community as well. I mean, maybe the community right now has less of an attention span more than ever, or maybe it's also because of the fact that, well, we've kind of adapted, so to speak, to the whole yearly formula, and at this point right now, we require a lot more of a dose to keep us engaged into the game before we get bored of it, which is, I think, another reason why a lot of people will go back and forth and play different Call of Duties, because of that kind of input, so to speak, that we crave, the kind of difference or whatnot. And I think it's also why some people that don't even like Modern Warfare still go back and play that game every once in a while, because when you look at the gunplay in that game, the gunplay feels really good, except, well, if you want to do something fast like quick draw, or whether you want to move, the game penalizes you for every movement that you make, or if you want to be aggressive in any way, shape, or form, you're severely penalized because of the way the game is designed that way, which is a damn shame. And the thing is that it's basically the equivalent of making this wonderful meal and basically saying, like, you can't have it, all you can do is look at it and smell it, but you can't have it or else you're going to catch food poisoning or whatnot. So it's a weird analogy, I know, but I figured I'd add that in there. You guys know how I'm a sucker for analogies. But anyway, now from all the feedback that I've been getting back from streams, everything in the comment section from past videos, conversations that we might have on stream as well, when you put everything into perspective, every single person that I've noticed that watches my stuff or that comes to my streams has their own preference and for specific reasons. And also, when you look at the microtransaction system with how Treyarch handles things, it's really easy for a lot of people to hate on Treyarch for that. And I totally get it. And you know what? The microtransaction system almost killed Black Ops 3, and it didn't help Black Ops 4 at all when Black Ops 4 severely needed help, since it was a game that was originally meant to be something else according to everything that we've been hearing about and how it was supposed to be an Overwatch type of hybrid type of game. So when you look at it, it's not just what the developer is capable of from a gameplay standpoint and how they put their formula together, but it's also how they support the game post-launch and how community friendly they are. Because if you were to ask me, Jack, who is the most community friendly developer? And I would answer very simply 2016's Infinity Ward with World War II after the 6-month patch, or during the 6-month patch. During that time, World War II was by far the most community-friendly Call of Duty from both a microtransaction standpoint as well as a development standpoint, because, like, especially with the patch, like, if I had to pick one or the other, I'd probably pick Sledgehammer Games in terms of community friendliness, because they not only offered a good way for you to get weapons, as opposed to just having to hope and pray you'd have a 1% chance of winning those weapons through supply drops, but they made it grindable through salvage or whatever you want to call it. So if there was a specific weapon you wanted, they did that. But that overhaul, my goodness, I mean, if that overhaul was done like a few months prior, World War II would have been praised even more. And my best friend also, he's a big Rainbow Six Siege fan. He's been playing that on PC a lot. And he tells me the way the developers handle maps, man, if Call of Duty handled maps a certain way. And the way they do it, and I'm kind of paraphrasing the way he described it to me, he said that basically the developers take feedback on a new map that they release, and if there's something that needs to be done about that map, they basically make changes to that map, and then they re-release it with all the different changes, and wham bam, they go from there. So, and the way I look at it is there's no reason why Call of Duty can't do that, because Call of Duty is the most popular selling game on console, and they sure as hell make a lot of money, and not just through the game itself, but through microtransactions as well. And as of recently, they're making even more, thank goodness, because they've decided to change things up, and thank goodness that it's making them money, because that means we're going to get more free content, and hopefully in the future that will be valuable content as opposed to just, you know, bullshit thrown here and there. Stuff that actually means something, you know, stuff that's actually worth grinding for. That's what content is. So when you look at it from every single perspective beyond just gameplay, and you look at community friendliness, feedback and shit, it really is not so cut and dry, because Sledgehammer Games overall I'd probably say is the most community friendly, with again 2016's Infinity Ward with Infinite Warfare coming in a close second. And I don't know what the hell happened to them, because quite frankly I'm shocked when people on my stream are telling me that it's the exact same team that developed Modern Warfare 2019 that also happened to develop Infinite Warfare. It drives me nuts, because not only did they fuck up from a gameplay standpoint, but from a community friendly standpoint. They are, like, we've been telling them the changes that we've asked for, right? But there is no hope in sight. When we were asking things with World War II, Condrey refused to do it, and then after he was either fired or let go or promoted or put into a different position, whatever the deal was, and Aaron Hanlon stepped in, I mean, it was just like Call of Duty World War II went from, you know, a C to like a B+ in my eyes overall. And we're talking from an overall perspective and in many different categories. We're not just talking about gameplay, but we're also talking about somebody that like, they weren't as community friendly until Aaron Hanlon stepped in, because obviously Condrey, you know, had a different view on things. So all of a sudden, if that were to happen, I can tell you right now, as I'm saying this commentary, as I'm making this commentary right now, if something like that were to happen with Modern Warfare, I guarantee you the game would be a hell of a lot better if they overhauled it like that. Like, and the thing is, with Modern Warfare, all they need to do is a handful of things. They don't need to go as crazy as Sledgehammer Games did. So fix the spawns, fix the footstep sounds, make dead silence a perk, and in my opinion, what they also need to do is change the create a class system a little bit to where you're not getting punished for having any sort of an aggressive perk. Like, seriously. I mean, it takes the fun out of attachments. And one of the things that makes Call of Duty as fun as it is the customization. And even though you're offering plenty of customization, if that customization penalizes you in some way, shape, or form, as opposed to enhancing whatever it is that you're trying to do, you've got a serious problem. So it's very, I mean, it's pretty, like, that's why it's not Call of Duty, because of the way the game is designed. Because despite the fact that it has a Call of Duty name and brand attached to it, it doesn't play like that. It doesn't play like a traditional arcade first-person shooter. And that was their vision, I guess. But the thing is, like, if the fans want Call of Duty, which is why they bought your game in the first place, make those changes and make the game play like Call of Duty. That, I mean, and that's just a handful of things that can enhance Modern Warfare so much. And that's what, and I wanted to finish this commentary talking about that as well, because I really, like, if they made those changes, I would give the game a shot. You know, I feel like I've been playing the same Call of Duty over the last 5 years, to be honest with you, in terms of, you know, Black Ops 4 was okay, but it didn't, and it was good overall, despite the fact that I hate specialists. But the thing is, like, and the 150 health is something that I don't mind, but I keep on going back and forth with. I think Call of Duty Black Ops 4 would have been a lot more addictive if the health itself was at 100 as opposed to 150. But the thing is that, like, if they made changes, I would give Modern Warfare another shot. And I think other people would also give them extra points as well. And not just from a developer standpoint, but also to acknowledging the fact that, hey, these guys are community friendly. They're giving us what we want. So, but yeah, I understand that Treyarch is a favorite among most people, but I personally don't think, especially with the kind of feedback that I've been getting from you guys as well and your perspectives, I think that it's not so easily cut and dry as some polls out there may make it out to be when you start thinking about all the different perspectives. So with that being said, which of the 3 developers is your favorite developer and why? And for some people, gameplay matters more, and for some other people, it's the post-launch support that matters more. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for this one. Let me know down in the comments section your perspective and why. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.